169 x to the 8th over 13 x squared. Okay, so we start by looking on the top. Is that a monomial or a binomial? A monomial. And on the bottom? Monomial. We know that monomials and monomials can be simplified, right? One singular term over one singular term, those can be simplified just like a fraction. Okay, so we start. We'll start with just the numbers. 169 over 13. Yeah, 13. You just divide. Good. And then we have x to the 8th over x squared. Are those the same base? Yeah, what can we do with those exponents? Subtract them. So that just becomes x to the 6th. And that's it. I would take 13x to the 6th for that answer, or 13x to the 6th over 1. Whichever way you wrote it, I don't care. Okay, they mean the same thing. All right. Any questions on that? On simplifying monomial over a monomial? We all know how to recognize that, hopefully. Okay, cool. Number two. Okay. We can look at these and tell we're not dealing with monomials anymore, okay? So when we're not dealing with monomials, when it's bigger, when it's a binomial or a trinomial, we first look, can we factor? Okay, so we start with the top. Can we factor the top? Can we do anything there? Can we take out a number? Yeah, we could take out a GCF of -4. They both have a -4 in common. When I do that, I just divide both terms by -4, and what's going to be left? X plus 2. Perfect. And it is a positive 2, right? Because a -8 divided by -4 is a positive 2. Okay? What about the bottom? Is that going to factor? No, it's not. So I'm just going to leave it alone. Don't do anything. Don't cross anything off yet. Leave it alone. Okay. So now, would you agree that I've factored the top and the bottom to the best of my ability? Yes. So now I can start crossing things off if binomials are the exact same, okay? And then if there are monomials, that will simplify in the front, okay? Do I have anything that's going to simplify here? Yeah, they're the exact same binomial, right? So they can cancel. And then what's going to be left? Just a -4 on top. That's it. -4 over 1. Okay. Say what? You're good. Any questions on this? Cool. All right. Speeding through this. Number 3. Okay. Again, not dealing with monomials here, so we got to look. Can we factor? So we start by always checking for a GCF. So I look at the top. 3x squared and 9x. Do those have a GCF? Yeah, they do. Okay, what is it? Yep, they both have a 3, but we also have to check the variable. They both have an x. They both have an x to the first, okay? Do we all see that? Here's the big thing on this one, okay? Don't automatically see that this is 2 terms in a square here and think it's difference of squares. Why isn't that top part difference of squares? It's a plus sign, right? That's a good part. And then also, there's an x right here, okay? So we've got to take that GCF out first. Difference of squares, this is just going to be a number usually, okay? Or it's going to be a term that has x squared, and this one doesn't. Okay, so we'll keep going. So we took out a 3x, and what's going to be left? So 3x squared divided by 3x is just going to be x. Yep, and 9x divided by 3x is plus 3. Good. Okay, now we go to the bottom. Okay, this is different. Is there a GCF I could take out here? No, but what do I see here? You do see difference of squares this time, okay? There's an exponent of 2. There's a subtraction sign, okay? And we know that 9 is a perfect square. And if we didn't know that, we could check in our calculator, right? Okay, so if we have difference of squares, what do we do? Square root both of them. Yes, x plus 3, x minus 3. Okay? Purple Day students really struggled with that, okay? They wanted to square root both terms and then just make it x minus 3, okay? But make sure we know that because this is squared right here, we're going to have two factors, okay? So we've got to make sure we have two. One's positive, one's negative, okay? Now we have fully factored everything. We look, can anything simplify here? Yeah, what? The x plus 3's. Anything else? Why not? Why can't 3x over x minus 3, why can't I simplify that? Bingo. One's a binomial and one is a monomial. Those are never going to be the same. Okay, so do not try to simplify a one term with a two term. Okay, so the answer to this, we just leave it alone. Everything we have left. 3x over x minus 3. It's okay if you leave the parentheses in there, I don't care. Okay? Questions on that? Alright, number 4. Ooh, what we got going here? Yeah, x method, right? Trinomial over trinomial. So we got to do the x method how many times? Twice. Good. Let's do it. Okay, we'll start with the top. What's my top number going to be? Yep, 1 times negative 7 is negative 7. What goes on bottom? Negative 6. Okay, so now I need to think about two things that will multiply to the top and add to the bottom, okay? If I can't do this in my head, that's fine. You take your calculator. You type in the top number. So type in negative 7. Now you're going to start dividing it by numbers, but here's the first number you're going to start with. 1, okay? Negative 7 divided by 1, what is that? Negative 7. Would negative 7 and 1 end up being negative 6? Yes, okay? So 1 is a possibility. Don't rule that one out, okay? Because sometimes that one works. If it didn't work, then I'd try 2, then I'd try 3, then I'd keep going, okay? Until I find two numbers. But in this case, negative 7 and positive 1 are going to work. Okay. Since that leading coefficient is a 1, these are my factors. I don't have to do anything else, okay? I just have to write those in factor form. And how would I do that? What's your question?
Would it be that? So I have negative 1 and 7.
You have negative 1 and 7?
Yeah, would that be the same thing as just...
It wouldn't be because this is a negative 6. So a negative 1 and a positive 7 would add up to be a positive 6. Yep. You just got to watch your signs. Good question. Okay, so then on top, those are my two factors. So I'm literally just writing them. X minus 7, because it's a minus 7. X plus 1, because it's a positive 1. That's it. Don't overthink that. Now we said we're doing the x method again on the bottom. Help me out. What am I going to do there? 14 and negative 9. So two things. I'll multiply to give me a positive 14, add to give me a negative 9. Negative 7 and negative what? 2. Good. Negative 7 and negative 2. Okay, they both have to be negative in order for them to multiply to be positive and add to be negative. Okay? Good deal. So my factors on the bottom are going to be what? Perfect. X minus 7, X minus 2. Just the two numbers that I found. Okay? Have I fully factored everything? I think I have. I don't think I could do anything else. Yeah, I've factored everything. So now I look, can I simplify this? What can I do here? Yep, they're the exact same. They go away. Are x plus 1 and x minus 2 the same? No, they're not. Okay, so we cannot simplify those, right? I do not. Okay, so here's what I want to see. I want to see this answer right here. That's your answer. I do not want to see you cross off these x's. Why can't I do that? Why can't I cross these off and just make this 1 over negative 2? Why can't I? Because they are not the exact same. Okay, if the binomials don't match, we can't do that. So do not do that. Okay, questions on that? How do we feel about X method? Do we want to practice another one? I think we have one more in this page, but is anyone still confused on how to do that? Okay, we will keep going. Number 5. Okay, we've got an operation this time instead of just simplifying. If I look, what operation am I doing? Multiplying, which means I don't have to do anything, right? Okay, all I've got to do is I look at each individual numerator, each individual denominator, see if they can be factored, and then I just multiply across and simplify. Okay, I do not keep flip change on this because it's multiplication. So we start. 18x to the 4th is a monomial. Can you factor a monomial? No, move on. 1, can that be factored? Nope, also a monomial. X minus 1, can that be factored? Nope, those don't have a GCF, can't do anything there. 2x, nothing, right? Monomial again. Okay, so that's it on that one, right? Nothing I can do. So I go ahead, I multiply straight across. So the the only two things on top are both monomials, so I multiply those together. 18x to the 4th times 1. What do you think? Yeah, just 18x to the 4th. Okay. On the bottom, I have a binomial and a monomial. Are those the exact same thing? No, so I do not multiply them together. I just write them next to each other. That's how I multiply them. Okay, I don't condense them. I just leave them expanded like that. You'll notice I put the monomial term in the front, okay? The binomials in the back. Okay. Now we look, can we simplify this? Well, that very first question, we said we could simplify a monomial over a monomial, right? So do I look, I have a monomial over a monomial, 18x to the 4th over 2x, how could I simplify that? Yep, we're going to subtract the exponents of the x's, so that'll be x to the 3rd, right? Because 4 minus 1 is 3. What about that 18 over 2, though? Can we divide that? What is it? Just 9. Anything left in this fraction? Yeah, the x minus 1 is still on bottom. Can I do anything with that? Nope, because it's a binomial. Doesn't have a matching binomial in the top, so it's just going to stay down there and we're done. So do not cross off a binomial unless it has an exact match. Okay? Cool. Number 6. Ooh, what operation we got here? Division, which means I have to. Yep, keep flip change, flip, whatever you want to call it. Okay? Very first thing I do is that. Okay? Don't forget to do that. So x plus 8 over x squared plus 16x plus 64, that stays the same. The next fraction, I'm flipping. And now I have multiplication, so I'm just going to do the exact same thing as what I just did. So we start. First numerator, x plus 8. Can I factor that? Nope. It's as simple as it will go. Next numerator, x plus 8. Same thing, right? Simple as that's going to go. First denominator. Can that be factored? X method, right? Yep, 3 terms, that means X method. So we're going to try it. What's going to go on the top of my X? Yep, 1 times 64 is 64. What's going to go on the bottom? 16. 2 things that will multiply to give me 64 and add to give me a positive 16. 8 and 8. Yep. 8 and 8. Good. So how do I break this up then? What are my 2 factors? Yep, you got it. X plus 8, x plus 8. Just the numbers I just found. That's my new first denominator. Then I go to my second denominator, which is negative 4. Can I do anything with that? Nope, not factorable. Okay? So now we are multiplying. On top, I've got 2 different binomials. So I do not multiply them together. I just write them together. On bottom, it looks like I've got, again, two binomials, and I also have a monomial. So I'm going to put the monomial in the front, and I'm going to write down the two binomials together. Don't FOIL them. Don't do more work than you have to. Okay, now we look. What are we going to do here? What's going to happen? Yep, x plus 8, x plus 8, x plus 8, x plus 8. They both had a match. What's left on top? Nothing, okay, but on the bottom I have a -4. So what do you think I should put on the top? A 1. Yep, don't put a 0, put a 1. Questions on that? You feel okay about this? Okay. Some of us are getting really good at factoring now. Okay, I think having that extra practice is helping. So that might be whenever we get back from spring break, if you're thinking about that retake option, that might be the one you want to retake. Okay. All right, 2 more questions, and then we're gonna have a little bit of time to study, and then we'll take our test. So, first thing I notice on number 7 is what? Division. Get rid of it. Okay, we cannot have it. So, first fraction stays the same. Next fraction is flipping. Thank you. And we change that sign to multiplication. Okay, we don't change anything about that second fraction other than changing the position of the numerator and denominator. We don't change any signs on it, okay? All right. Now, what do? I start with what? My first top, right? First numerator. X squared minus 49. Ooh, what do we see there? Difference of squares, okay? We see this exponent of 2. We see this subtraction sign, okay? So how would I break this down for difference of squares? Square root each term, and this would become x minus 7 and x plus 7. Perfect. Scribble it out. It's gone now. That's my new first numerator. Questions on difference of squares? Do we feel like we can recognize that? We know how to write it? Okay. X plus 3, my second numerator. Can I do anything with that? No. Okay, first denominator, 7 plus x. Can I do anything with that? Nope. And then lastly, 2x to the third minus 14x squared. Yeah, I can't leave it like that. Start by checking for a greatest common factor. So, yep, 2. I agree with the 2. And then we have x to the third and x squared. So what do they both have? X squared. If one's got 3 and one's got 2, they both have 2. So when I take that out, when I take it out of the first term, 2x to the third divided by 2x squared, what's going to be left? Yeah, just x, and then the second term is going to be a minus 7. Perfect. So that is my new second denominator. Okay. Take a deep breath. You with me so far? Okay, we're not stressing. Does anyone have a question so far on what we've done? No? Okay, so we have factored every single numerator, right? And every single denominator that we could. So since we are multiplying, what do we do now? What's going to be on top? Tell me. Perfect. You're just writing it all out. Okay, don't multiply anything. Just write it all out. Okay. And then we go to the bottom. We check for a monomial term. Do I have one? This one does. So that's just what I want to write in the front. What is it? we all see that 2x squared? Okay. And then we'll just write our binomials behind that. So 7 plus x and x minus 7. You with me on that? Okay, so all I did was write all this stuff together, but I put that monomial term in the front. Because that's where it goes. Okay. Now what? Yep, what's going to cancel? Yep. The x minus 7s are the exact same, right? And then we see x plus 7 over 7 plus x. Are those the exact same? Yes. 1 plus 2 and 2 plus 1 are the same thing, right? We can do that with any two numbers. Okay, so x plus 7, 7 plus x are the exact same. So those are match. Okay? Anything else? Nope. That's it. So on top I have x plus 3, and on bottom I have 2x squared. That's it. I'm done. Okay, questions on that? All right, and then last one. Number 8, am I going to key flip change that? No, why not? Multiplication. So a little dot right here. I don't have to do anything with that. Okay. So we start with the, yeah, we're going to look at GCFs. We'll start with the first numerator. Okay, so we check, does that have a GCF? Yeah. I got a negative 9x and a 27. What do those both have? 9, okay. But instead of a positive 9, I do have to take out a negative 9, and the reason for that, okay, we've talked about this. If the very first term is negative, okay, your GCF needs to be negative, okay? So if that first term, it says a negative 9x, I know that my GCF needs to have a negative in front of it. So they both have a 9, I'm going to take out a negative 9. So when I do that, what's going to be left? X, what'd you say? Plus 3 or minus 3? Minus 3, because 27 divided by negative 9 is a negative 3. Good. And that's my new numerator. Second numerator, is that going to do anything? No. First denominator, will that do anything? Difference of squares, right? We've got that 2 right there, that exponent of 2, and that subtraction sign, okay? What's that going to break down to? Perfect. The square root of 9 is 3, so x minus 3 and x plus 3. Thank you. And then lastly, the 4. Will that do anything? No, we can't factor a 4. So, multiplying across on the top. What's left up there? Or what is up there? Okay, negative 9, x minus 3, and x minus 4. And on bottom, what do we have? We have an x minus 3, an x plus 3, and a 4 in the front. Okay, so we'll look. I got 2 monomial terms this time, so I look. Can negative 9 over 4 be simplified? I don't think so, so I'm going to leave those alone, okay? Do I have any matching binomial terms? Just the x minus 3's, right? X minus 4 over x plus 3, can those simplify? No, they're not the same. So your answer for this one is that. Okay, it's okay if not everything cancels out. Okay, that's why it's the last question. It's supposed to be kind of like a trick question, but I just told you the trick, okay? If everything doesn't cancel out, that's okay. Sometimes your answers are long, okay? Cool. How are we feeling? So-so? On a scale of 1 to 5, let's see it. 5, 5, 4, 4s and 5s. Okay. I'm going to give you, what time is it? It's 7:43, okay? If you want about 10 minutes to study with someone around you, then that works, okay? If you don't, you can go ahead and start your test. But after 10 minutes, I'm going to hand out the test to everyone who doesn't have one, okay? So that's what we're doing today.